Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty, where we look at games, movies, or whatever else strikes our fancy, then decide in our opinions whether it's good, bad, or guilty pleasure. We're your hosts, Theron.
And Kit.
We had planned a different game for Halloween, but due to some issues, that game will be too late to work for Halloween, and instead we have this game. We bought it wanting something casual and fun to play together, and quickly grew to regret such a decision. That being the case, this is not going to be in a very professional setup.
And that game is Dead Rising 2. Dead Rising 2 is a game published by Capcom and developed by Blue Castle Games, released for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC on September 24, 2010. Recently remastered releases of the game have come out on Xbox One and PS4. Dead Rising 2 also has a small DLC release called Case Zero, which seems to be an Xbox Live Arcade exclusive. The creator behind Mighty No. 9, KJ Inafune, just so happens to also be the guy behind this game. Apologies if I fricked up his name.
The graphics aren't really that noteworthy to me. Kind of on the ugly side, if anything. It has a lot of color, but how the color is used honestly feels really boring.
Yeah, the graphics are all just meh. As hey, it's supposed to be their version of Vegas with lights and glamour and everything, and we just get what could be called a bland mall with nothing that pops. The story. How do I put it? You play as Chuck Green, average Joe who competes in the reality TV show Terror is Reality, so he can get the prize money to pay for his daughter's Zombrix, which is used to keep people who have been bitten by zombies from turning. But before Chuck can go off to buy some for his daughter, someone breaks the zombies out of their holding area and sets them loose on the casino... mall... place? So now you have to go out and find Zombrix for your daughter, find who set the zombies free, why they set the zombies free, and do it all in 3 days' time before the army rolls in to save everyone. The story for this game, while it sounds simple enough for what I just said, is a train wreck in actuality. So many of the main characters forget to use logic on anything. A great example is TK, the host of the game show Chuck competed in. He's framing you for the outbreak. His reward for doing so? A helicopter full of cash. Best plan ever. I mean, it's not like he's making millions already from his show that he had to screw over with this.
This story is atrocious. I could forgive the crummy story if it seemed like they intended it to be stupid, but no. This story is played straight-laced. They treat this story like a serious situation, as though everything you are doing should be taken seriously, and because of it, it quickly becomes annoying with how poorly it is put together. First off, Zombrix. You need this for your daughter. Every 24 hours. She needs this stuff for the rest of her life every 24 hours, or else she'll turn into a zombie. Later in the story, it's revealed that you need, say around 50 or more zombies. The number isn't ever stated. To make one syringe of Zombrix. That means, effectively, it takes, let's go by the estimation of 50 as a liberal estimate, and just say 10 for this. I don't care the math you do or the sentimental value you have. You are killing so many people a day that it is absolutely absurd. Just for someone to live 1 year, you will have to kill 3,650 people. And that is if we're being very stringent, and 10 zombies is the minimum you need for one dosage. Then, as Kit said, we have a real problem with the characters in this story. Remembering the story based simply on gameplay, TK is a star. They at no point imply his game show is dying. They at no point imply that he is a failure or that his business venture is failing, but he chooses to throw all this away to steal money from some vaults. Let's be 100% honest here. He could have probably made what's in those vaults in less than a damn month and kept making more. The security guard defending the safe house is outright letting someone who is accused of causing the outbreak try to prove he wasn't the one who did it. This may sound legit at first, until you later find out he's working with the bad guys. He is outright working against his own best interest, instead of just apprehending the person and holding him. Telling him someone else needs to do the work since they can't risk him escaping or something. The gameplay for this is a nightmare all around. It has made it very obvious that developers outright ignore player input, no matter how loud. The premise, a zombie game where you get to roam around a gated city fighting zombies with weapons both completely useless, such as foam finger, to majorly damaging like laser swords.
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
How did they fuck it up? Well, let's start with the timers. Timers everywhere. There's a timer for everything you do in this damn game, it seems. You have a timer for when the game ends. You have a timer for when your daughter dies. You have a timer for every mission. What's worse is some of these fall under you can't do it too early rules. That means you have a timer for when you can do it, but you can't do it before the timer is almost out. That means there's moments where the biggest thing you'll be doing is waiting around looking at a watch because fuck you, player. Why would you want to go out and fight zombies with a laser sword? We then have another issue that is compacted even more from the timer, the missions. You get missions pretty much the same as everything is based on the time you have. Meaning you can go through an area and not trigger anything the first time, but come through an hour later and you could trigger something. This sounds cool, until you keep in mind everything else is set with a damn time frame, meaning the likelihood of you reaching all the stuff you need to reach is not the most likely thing unless all you do is avoid the damn zombies. Game where you spend the entire damn game avoiding the fun of the game so you can try to imitate Sonic the Hedgehog as best as possible until the end. That's the general consensus of this gameplay. The fun would be killing zombies. But thanks to all the damn timers on everything, the destructible weapons, the horrible user interface which half the time doesn't explain how the stuff fully works, yet expects you to figure it out while you're in the middle of racing a damn clock, you basically have to finish the game and know where stuff is before you can even do stuff in this game.
Another thing to deal with is leveling. Using the special weapons, you get PP, which stands for Prestige Points. Anyway, they're gathered by killing zombies with special weapons, finding and bringing survivors to safety, killing psychopaths, and other random things around. When you get a level, you get a random upgrade for power, speed, or reach, or a move ranging from something completely useless to something else completely useless. There is a dodge roll, but that still stops you to pick yourself back up, leaving you wide open and wishing even more for a run button. All these unlock randomly, so you could get the roll at level 1 or level 30, and depending on that, you might have a little less trouble on a boss. I also wish to say a little on the psychopaths. Most are side bosses that you can choose to fight for added PP if you know what you're doing when fighting them, but it still makes them extremely useless as you gain PP just as fast or faster from killing zombies with special weapons if you know what you're doing, and that's all they're good for. The weapons, if you manage to kill one in the time limit and they drop a weapon, it's no better than the stuff you can find around the mall, even though they were just kicking your butt with said one. They're also super unfair unless you have played through the game a few times repeatedly resetting it. For example, we fought a psychopath who is heavy set and uses a chainsaw, so you must think he's going to be slow on account of his weight and the fact he's carrying a chainsaw. Nope! He's even faster than you and can knock you down and stun lock you, which bosses can't be stun locked, most of the time after a few hits gaining immunity from stunning at all. As for the weapons and game, as Theron said, you can mix some items you pick up all over the mall to make stronger weapons to carry around to kill zombies a bit easier. But much like a normal item, they also have really piss poor staying power as each weapon degrades and depending on what combo, breaks after a few uses, leaving you in the middle of a swarm trying to swap to something to kill them with to get free.
The online is bad, real bad. I don't feel a need to say more than that, but so people can have an idea on it, you have TIR, which is a game show mode where you are a contestant trying to win big. Then you have online co-op, where you play with a friend. It likes to disconnect, a lot. Way too much, and I mean way, way too much. The Terror's Reality Game Show, or TIR, I've already stated that it works like a game show. Problems are numerous very quickly. Starting right off the bat with starting a match, the game forces a 4-player game mode. You need 4 people or you can't even get into a match. Public or private, it doesn't work. More to this, if anyone leaves, it seems to instantly kill the match. This means on top of the insane wait time some matches have, ranging between 5 minutes to 30 full minutes, waiting on 4 people to join for it, if one of those people happens to grow disgruntled and leave after 2 of the 4 matches, all the effort of everyone is now null. Well, the game modes themselves are very lopsided and poorly explained. The hint messages before game modes seem to go from misleading to outright lies at points, and it will quickly feel like the person who's winning from the first round is guaranteed to win every round, making it all around just bland and boring. The worst part, though, is just how cramped most of the games are. It quickly starts to feel like everyone is spending more time trying to keep you from getting any points than them trying to get points themselves. All in all, it's just awful, and all for a pretty worthless amount of money in the single-player campaign. back to the co-op. On top of the fact it disconnects so much, every time it does so, or you die and have to go back to the recent save, the client player will lose all their stuff. The only things they keep are cosmetics, like clothing they're wearing. On top of that, the game yet again misleads even joining co-op, as it states the progress won't be saved when you join a co-op game as the client. You, on the other hand, have to save a completely separate character if you decide to co-op. That may not seem like much, but it takes up an actual save slot, and instead of simply not showing progress, it outright deletes story progress. You will have a leveled up character without having even finished the tutorial. Not exactly what it advertised at all.
For online, what I can say is it matches the title of the game. It's dead. No one's playing, so if you hope to play with someone, better have a co-op friend to play with for the story. Though it won't matter as much as the game lags to no end. We did get some funny things from it, though. Then there's how the story works with co-op. The host gets to save their progress, the story, the weapons they have on them, leveling, and the people saved. Your ally just gets to save his level. No story progress, and they drop everything they're carrying, making the drop-in connection even more of a hassle as you spend time collecting weapons. Also, you can hurt each other, so if you're trying to knock some zombies off a friend or save them from a boss or just ganging up on said boss, they're taking damage from you and you're taking damage from them. All I can say for this is bad. Don't bother with this game or give it any attention. It's so buggy online and relies so much on leveling and restarting multiple times to even have a chance at anything in the game, much less a chance to actually have fun. The only fun I did have was laughing at the glitches. Other problems quickly got old after the 100th time disconnecting.
This game is awful. It feels like the people behind it didn't care at all for what they were making. In fact, I'd almost argue it seems like they purposefully ruined this game. The story is trash. The graphics are actually pretty ugly for something with so many colors in it. The crafting system is atrocious and rewards you for not trying new things. The online is a cluster of nonsense that very quickly loses its novelty, if you can even connect. Nothing in this game is designed in a way that seems fun, and much of the game seems to be designed to punish you for trying to have fun. Researching for this, we found they supposedly improved the vehicle physics from the first game. Were vehicles just outright unusable in the first game?